The storm was coming fast. The world was falling apart, and God said, "Build an ark, huge, sealed tight, 3 floors, every animal, enough food, 1 window." Noah had to build the future or watch it all drown. This is the story of Noah's Ark. God didn't just tell Noah to build a boat, he gave him blueprints, specifications down to the cubit. Length, 300 cubits, about 450 feet. Width, 50 cubits, roughly 75 feet. Height, 30 cubits, around 45 feet. That's over 100,000 square feet of usable space. More than 21 basketball courts worth of floating shelter. 3 decks, 1 door, 1 window, 0 engines. Because this wasn't a ship. It was a survival capsule, built to outlast the end of the world. But building it was only the beginning. Noah had 120 years to prepare. Not because the construction was slow, but because God gave humanity time to repent. While Noah sawed wood and hammered beams, he warned everyone he met. He told them, "A flood is coming. Change your ways. You can still be saved." But people laughed, mocked him, ignored him. So Noah kept building and preparing. He didn't just build the ark, he had to stock it, stabilize it, divide it into compartments, plan food rations, create housing for every species, from elephants to ants. God told Noah to make the ark with compartments, like nests or stalls, hundreds, maybe thousands of small enclosures, each one custom-sized for different species. Huge pens for giraffes, cows, camels, perches and cages for birds, tanks for snakes and amphibians, covered jars for insects, even entire logs, soil containers, or rotting fruit to hold habitats for worms, snails, and bugs. Noah and his sons built ventilation systems, sloped floors for drainage, and storage bins for grain, meat, dried fruit, hay, water, and tools. He had to calculate how much food every animal would need for an entire year. Some animals ate once a day, some once a week. Some needed live prey, some could eat vegetation. But only a specific kind, temperature had to be controlled. Warm areas for tropical animals, cooler zones for polar species. The climate was regulated by fire pits, by natural insulation, and by divine protection. Noah planned for rotation feeding. He and his sons barely slept. Once, a lion lashed out because Noah was late with its food. And then, there was waste. There were latrines and waste zones. Some enclosures had sloped floors, leading to holes that dumped waste outside. Some worms and insects were assigned to break down waste. Some animals may have been trained to relieve themselves in specific spots. Everything was thought of, and everything took time. He didn't just build a boat, he built a miniature world. Noah, his wife, his 3 sons, and their wives, 8 people in total, lived in the ark. But how many animals were there? The Torah says Noah brought 2 of every kind of animal and 7 pairs of each kosher animal and bird. That doesn't mean every single kind of dog or cat we know today, just 1 pair from each big animal group. So instead of 100 types of dogs, he may have only brought 1 pair of dog kind. When you add it all up, there would be somewhere between 16,000 to 50,000 animals on the ark. Big ones, small ones, birds, bugs, and everything in between. Now the flood. The verse says the water came from above and below. The fountains of the great deep burst forth, and the windows of the heavens were opened. Rain poured from the sky for 40 days and 40 nights. But that wasn't all. Beneath the surface, the crust of the earth split open. Superheated water erupted from underground reservoirs. The lower waters were boiling, meant to punish and destroy. The atmosphere was thick with steam, fire, thunder, and volcanic force. The surface of the earth was one giant pressure valve, exploding, and still the ark floated fully sealed. Inside, it was calm but exhausting. Noah monitored temperature zones, maintained feeding schedules, handled sick or violent animals, ensured ventilation to avoid buildup of dangerous gases. There was one window, high up, like a skylight, or possibly a glowing gem called the Sohar, which lit the entire vessel from within. And outside, silence, nothing but water. For 150 days, eventually the waters receded. The ark came to rest in the mountains of Ararat, modern-day Turkey. But what happened to it next? According to Jewish tradition, Noah dismantled the ark and used the wood to build homes and a study hall. The rest of it may have been buried by nature, covered by mud, stone, or even lava. But could parts of it still exist? In eastern Turkey, a site known as Durupanar may hold the answer. Shaped like a ship and stretching 515 feet long, A near match to the ark's biblical size, it's more than just a natural curiosity. Radar scans have pierced through the ground, revealing compartment-like chambers, corridors, and even a 13-foot tunnel running beneath the surface. Scientists found layers of unusual soil, rich in organic material, with 40% more potassium than nearby areas. Clues that something, possibly once alive, decayed there. Patches of grass grow thicker and greener in the exact shape of a massive vessel, as if nature itself is tracing what lies below. Core samples added even more mystery. Marine sediments, clay, and ancient shellfish, suggesting this mountaintop was once underwater. The structure is symmetrical, linear, and massive. Unlike random rock formations, no wood or tools have been recovered yet, but researchers are now preparing fiber optic cameras and non-invasive drilling to explore deeper. Some scientists remain skeptical, but many believe this may be the closest we've ever come to uncovering a piece of the original Ark. What we do know is this: the Ark was more than just a ship. It was the most detailed survival vessel ever built by hand. 3 levels, 1 window, 1 door, 100,000 plus square feet, thousands of species, enough food for a year, and a man with the courage to build it all, while the world laughed at him every plank, every nail, every creature, every second, all part of a rescue mission that saved the world. If this amazed you, share with a friend and comment below. What was the craziest Ark detail you never heard before? Would you have survived inside? And which biblical blueprint should we explore next? Thanks for watching. Stay curious and never underestimate what one person can build.